Really, Roomba?
Roomba's out here doing sick rail grinds while the rest of us are getting ready for work. I know I always start my mornings in my car, which is the best place to start your vlogs. It would be different. Show my morning interactions with my Roomba. It's always stuck somewhere, but still totally worth the money. Anyways, watch this every time I start my car. It's awesome. I swear to God, I'm gonna miss the fact that it's January and it's 43 degrees out. Come like February when I come out and it's like 2 degrees out. Whew, what a day at work. It's been a long day. Fun fact, today we had 50, that's 50 interns start. Now part of my group does support that, but I don't do anything to support them unless they start using cloud stuff. But it was just amazing watching 50 people, like 50 brand new kids straight out of college to just try to start, all log in at the same time. Whoo, was it chaos. That was something to watch as an IT guy. So tonight, it's gonna be pretty low key. We got dinner, scouts, and I need to get my exercise in. I got one hell of a hangnail. Oh man. This shirt right here. That shirt. God, what size is this? 3X? 3XL? Wow. That takes me back. Story time. It's windy as hell, but I can get my outdoor walk in. Found a nice parking lot. Peace. Whew, man, what a good walk. That was a great walk. So I left, just walking around the parking lot. Someone's not having a good day. So I left, walking around the parking lot, and then I ended up going 2 laps in the parking lot. And then I realized just outside the parking lot there was a sidewalk. Sidewalks go places. So I just went on an adventure. I literally just started walking down the sidewalk. It went down a hill and then back up a hill. And I made it all the way back up to the other top. And then I decided to turn around and come back. And then when I was turned around and come back, it is like super windy out. And I was going downhill, which is fine, but when I started going back up the hill, suddenly I'm going against the wind. And I'm just like, it was like the wind and going uphill. Man, that was a heck of a workout. Somebody's having a bad night. It's a fire truck and an ambulance go by. Hopefully that doesn't interrupt too much. Anyways, long story short, I got a good walk in, and on top of that, I got my heart rate way up, so that's good. Kids are still inside scouts. Still got about 40 minutes of scouts left, but while they're in scouts, I'm actually going to work on writing a script for something I want to talk about. Having to deal with a shirt I came across in my closet. We're going to have a good talk about that. Okay, story time. That Biggest Loser shirt. Man, where do I begin? Back when The Biggest Loser was at the end of season 1, the very first season. The last finale show was somewhere around Christmas time. And basically... Thanks, cat. Sorry, the cat was making noise. I had just started that year my very first office job where I was working in an office. I wasn't working outdoors. I wasn't doing anything with my strength or as an EMT or as a nurse aide or whatever, right? It was my very first office job. So then I went from a moving active job to a sedentary job. And I realized that I was starting to gain weight just that, even this earliest at my first IT job, my very first full-time IT job. And inside this place, it was a place in northern Kentucky, very long commute, by the way. They had a bunch of people in the office that were huge fans of the show. Basically, this was when the show was just starting to take off. Like, it was right at the end of season 1, and the finale wasn't there yet, but everybody was excited about the show, and it had huge ratings, and it was just like it was going to explode, right? So they decided to do a Biggest Loser contest in the office. This was like the first time I'd even ever heard of people doing it. So I think it was before the show even started encouraging offices to do their own Biggest Loser contest. We decided to do it, and then also to make it fair, we also decided to do it on the percentage lost instead of pounds, right? Because all the women wanted to participate, and you could obviously tell there was a disadvantage or whatever. Statistically, whatever. Yeah. So I entered into this Biggest Loser contest, and I think it was like $10 to join or something. And so many people had joined that we were going to give prizes to the first, second, and third place, and it was like 50% of the money, or no, it was like 60% of the money, 25% of the money, and 5% of the money, or something. I can't remember how the math worked out, but like the first place got a ton of the pool. It was a huge pool of money, and it was I think it was like 19 or 20 weeks, something like that. It was 19. That's what it was. I'll find the picture here somewhere. We decided to do this, and back then I was focused and driven. I freaking loved that show. I only watched like the last few weeks before the finale, and then right before the finale for an entire week, NBC replayed the entire season. And that's when I fell in love with that show. I watched it from episode 1 all the way through the finale, and then I watched the finale, and I was just blown away at how, the show. Controversy aside, going forward, it was like the Pokemon thing. The night when that Biggest Loser first came out, that was such a huge changing moment for me in my life. In the future, obviously, my thoughts about Biggest Loser and the whole contest and how it's sort of rigged, blah blah blah, whatever. There's a whole bunch of controversy going forward and all this whatever. But the thing is, at the time, it motivated me to join this contest and really try. And I didn't try. Like, I went hardcore into it. Day 1 of the contest, I ended up going out and I hate to say this, I went on the Jared Subway diet. Oh God, there's so many bad. Everything that was nice just kind of gets crumbled. You get the whole Jared thing. Anyways. That Subway diet, if you follow it, legitimately does restrict your calories really far. And on top of that, my wife and I were newlyweds. I had just gotten, she got me a gym membership to, I can't even remember, it was like Bally's or something. It was like a really large fitness place here in Cincinnati. Very huge gym. And they had this gigantic indoor pool. They had all sorts of cardio machines, and they had this massive hot tub. So this is before I had kids, mind you. Every day I would get up and I would strictly follow the Subway diet. And after work, I would get off work, and usually my wife was working at night, and usually I would just go home and have some beers and play video games. Instead, I went to the gym for at first it was like a half hour, and then it became an hour, and the next thing you know, by the end of the contest, I was spending 2 to 3 hours a day at the gym, 7 days a week. And I put my heart into this contest, and I just crushed everybody. I crushed everybody. And at the end of the contest, I I went from 391 down to 312 pounds, I think is what it was. Yeah, and then I think there was even, like, at the final weigh-in, I was down another 2 pounds, right? I think, if I remember correctly, I think I ended up losing like 82 pounds total, right? And that was over like 20 weeks. 82 pounds in 20 weeks. Let's do the math on that. Yeah, so if you do the math, it was 4.1 pounds a week. And I went from like really obese down to heavy, right? I still think I was technically obese, but like I felt wonderful. Like I was swimming for like an hour and a half every day. You couldn't stop me. I was a beast in the pool. You just kept swimming and swimming and swimming. All my clothes, like I literally had to get a whole new wardrobe. It was such a wonderful feeling. I ended up winning the contest. I think I brought home like, it was like $200 or $300 in cash, from this pool. Everybody at my work they loved me to, I'm not going to lie, I'm a fairly popular guy at my work. But when I was done with the contest, everybody just was like, dude, you're on fire, right? Like I was the new IT guy in this office of like, 80 something people. It was like a call center. The runner-up person had lost like 50 pounds, right? It was a woman, and she crushed it. And she was close. Statistically, she was close to me, but like I ended up beating her. And she told me fair and square that I deserved it. So it wasn't like, but it was a really very good friendly competition, right? And I can't even remember how much the third place guy lost, but it was a lot, right? But like overall, the rest of the office lost, 10, 15 pounds. So the fact that I lost like 82 pounds just crushed it. I was a completely different person after 20 weeks of that, right? And that's when season 2 started for The Biggest Loser. So then, the whole healthy kicking thing kicked off again, right? They talked about doing another follow-up contest, but I ended up not getting into that contest because it was just like I needed a little bit of a break, right? So then, about 2 months after the contest ended, one night I was laying in bed. I think I had actually, for the first time in a long time, I had actually eaten like a hamburger and fries. I started just getting this crushing stomach pain. So I remember calling my wife on the phone, nearly in tears, begging her to bring me some like Pepto-Bismol or something, because I was just like, I honestly felt like I was having some sort of an indigestion or something that was like just tearing my guts off. By the time she had gotten off work, like 2 or 3 hours later, gotten the Pepto-Bismol and a 2 liter of Sprite, because I just, like I said, I just felt like I needed something fizzy. She came home, and I had already called 911 because the pain had went from this to this to this, right? She came home and found an ambulance outside of the house. I ended up going to the hospital with just doubled over in pain. It was horrible. Hospital saw me. They suspected it was gallbladder stones. They gave me some just crazy powerful drugs. I can't even remember what it was. I didn't, obviously I didn't ask for it. I can't even remember what it was, but it was something in a pill form, and man, it just like, woo! And then they sent me home and said to follow up with an ultrasound, right? That's how you look for that. You do an ultrasound. The next day, I think I called, scheduled the ultrasound, which was a couple days beyond that. It was horrible. For a couple days, all I did was I would sit there on medication, just drugged out of my mind, trying to ignore the pain. Finally got in to see an ultrasound. they did the whole ultrasound, and they said, yep, you got gallbladder stones. And it was a result of my accelerated weight loss. So basically, if you're really obese and you lose a ton of weight very fast, we're talking like crazy weight, you will end up 9 times out of 10 with gallbladder stones. And this is something they don't tell you on The Biggest Loser. So I ended up getting scheduled to get a surgery to get my gallbladder removed. And it was like scheduled, I think it was like 2 weeks out from that date from the ultrasound. So for another 2 weeks, I suffered on and off, half working, half not working, on drugs. And it was just, I just remember those 2 weeks were just terrible, because sometimes there'd be no pain at all, and then other times, like if I just looked at something that was fatty, and for whatever reason my stomach said, oh, let's start making some bile, right? Just crushing pain. Like I would just doubled over, and I would take the pills, and then I would just be incapacitated. I finally went, got the surgery. Surgery aside, you know, there's some funny stories about the surgery. My wife just sat there eating Doritos next to me in the bed in the waiting room, and after the surgery, like it was laparoscopic, where they put, you know, had like 4 holes in me. My wife ended up sucker punching me lovingly in the stomach, right where the stitches were. Thanks, wife. Yes, I see you, Cat. Cat says hi. She wants to be a part of the vlog. Long story short, I won the Biggest Loser contest, but I lost the Biggest Loser contest, because not only did I lose an organ, but I was in it for the wrong reasons. I won because I wanted to win, not because I wanted to get healthy. Now I want to get healthy, and I don't care about money. I don't care about winning. I don't care about all that fancy stuff. I don't want to dominate people. I want to live. As a result of that, I also gained all the weight back, plus a lot more, obviously, as you can see by the statistics. Yeah. And that was probably 14, 15 years ago. So in the 14, 15 years since that operation, I've gained all the weight back, plus, you know, 115 pounds maybe. I still do like The Biggest Loser. And if anybody ever has a chance of participating in one in their office, I still think the benefits of participating and just trying to be healthy outweigh the dangers. Don't go whole hog like I did. It's all about moderation, you see. Anyways, that's my Biggest Loser story. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me comments below if you have any funny stories or words of encouragement. And the cat and I are going to sign off here. Peace, love, happiness.